I've been drowning so long, I can't seem to breathe. Lost in my mind, shadows, I can't find relief. Dragged down by the weight of what's in my head. I want to be stronger and rise up instead. Now I've been learning to heal, I've been facing the storm. And the clouds are parted, and the weight is gone, and I believe.
Good morning, everybody. It's currently about 7 a.m. And I have my ADHD assessment this morning at 9 a.m. Everybody's still asleep. Is it a good idea to start a new video at this time in the morning? No, probably not. But everything's sorted, and I've been awake since 3:30 this morning. And I have started to record this video about 3 times and thought, no. But I'm gonna do it because I'm showing up today as human Sally, not therapist Sally. Because I'm nervous. I've been waiting for this for over a year, and for this assessment, because I've decided to go through Right to Choose for the last 3 months. And, you know, as a therapist working with clients with ADHD or who are neurodivergent, and all the training that I've done and the knowledge that I have, I know in my heart, I think I know in my heart what the answer is going to be today, because there's always just been a missing puzzle in my life. But it's really weird, and I thought this is why I want to make this video, because so many people that I speak to are scared that they're scared to go for the assessment because what if I don't get the diagnosis? What does that mean for me? And that's exactly how I'm feeling, to be honest with you. And so I've turned up unmasked. I thought, let's do my makeup. I mean, bear with me. I don't have a mirror. I'm just going to do it in the camera. But let's show up as unmasked. Let's show the reality. You know, so many people start, why do you need to find out? What's the point? What's it going to change? And, I just need to say, during my training, I was just thinking about it. I'm just going to start, because we ain't got time. Come on. During my training, I was one of those people that put up my hand and said, why is it that everybody is coming forward as being neurodivergent? It's like it's the new craze. I'm ashamed that I even said that. Do you know that? But I'm owning it. I did. My thought process for naive version of me was that it took away from people that really were neurodiverse. Everybody else coming through claiming that they were. And I'll never ever forget, there's this amazing person in the class put up their hand, and they said, what do you mean taking away from neurodivergent people? Like, what do you mean? And I felt ashamed. I felt embarrassed. I don't know. I just felt so, I felt misunderstood as well. But I'm so grateful to that person. I'm not going to mention their name. They'll know who they are. If they watch this, they'll know who they are. But I'm so grateful because, you know what happened? First of all, I got annoyed of like, and then I went away and I started to research and I started to understand things more. But I still didn't have a clue that maybe I could be. And I'll never forget, a client came in. And they needed me to help them to fill out their ADHD forms. And obviously I didn't fill them out, but I helped them with the questions because the forms are really overwhelming. If anybody's filled them out or had them, they can bring up a lot. And I helped them fill them out. And I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked because I scored higher on the form in my head than they did. And them unmasked, it was so clear that they were neurodiverse. Again, guys, I'm sorry if I get neurodiverse mixed up. That is something I really am working on. But it's part of just my dyslexia. I'm sorry, okay? Because I know that sometimes that causes offense when I don't get the terminology right. But it shocked me. And, you know, I've been in therapy off and on for about 15 years of my life. I found a therapist during my training, and I swear, if I hadn't have found this person who helped me to work on my life, I don't even know if I'd be here today, if I'm honest with you. I don't know where I would be. But with all the therapy in the world and being a therapist myself, there has always just been a missing puzzle of why do I feel the way I feel? Why do I feel like I have to mask all the time? Why do I feel as if my head is so busy? It's like Heathrow Airport on Christmas Eve, you know, all the time. My anxiety running through me is, but I'm not anxious. I just feel it's why do I read times wrong? Why have I missed flights back to South Africa and had to sleep in the airport because I have read the time wrong? Why am I always late for things? Why do people always get angry with me for not being able to understand how much time I have to do things? Why have I always felt like people misunderstood me? You know, I'll never forget, I can remember from the age of 6. 6 is a funny age because up until about 6, your behavior of being outspoken or, you know, just too much, a term that a lot of us are termed with, we're too much, we're over the top. A lot of that behavior is kind of put down to, oh, just kids being kids. And I'll never forget, from the age of 6, my life changed. And the way that I was treated, not by my parents at all, but by people very close to me, continued up until the age of 30. And along with that, I grew up in South Africa. I couldn't speak Afrikaans. It didn't matter how many extra lessons I had in Afrikaans, in English, in maths. I just couldn't grasp languages and numbers. I couldn't. I'll never forget, I used to be a waitress at a cafe in Tiger Valley. Anybody from South Africa, Cape Town watching, you'll know the place. And I used to get, I'll never forget, I got these people always used to come in on a Saturday morning. And they used to ask for me to serve them. But not because they wanted me to serve them, because I was the joke. It was the joke of their morning. They actually used to bring friends in. They used to say, "Die Engelse meisie, ons wil haar hê." Means that English girl, we want her. And they used to make an absolute laughing stock of me because they used to speak in the most, I don't even know how to explain it. You know, when you speak like general language and then you speak like higher language. They used to speak in higher Afrikaans on purpose to try and order. And I didn't have a clue what they were doing, what they were saying. I had no idea. And I went through all the emotions every single weekend. I can remember crying. I used to blush. They used to laugh. Ha 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 ha, kijk toch, zij kan niet verstaan nie. She can't understand, and they carry on doing it. I mean, this is not a woe is me, I was bullied. I was bullied throughout my entire life. So this was just another little thing on the coat of armor that I now have. But I'll never forget. They never used to tip. It wasn't like, they called me stupid. They called me, it's things like that. I mean, that's just a minor thing, really, compared to other things that my life path took on. But again, I did believe I was stupid. I did. I always wanted to go into psychology. I wanted to go into psychology, but I was too stupid with my grades to be allowed to go straight to university. I wasn't. I got about, I used to get high 60s, 70s, but that wasn't good enough for the subjects I needed to study psychology. So I went down the admin route, which is absolutely nothing wrong with admin. It's just admin, while I was good at multitasking, it was not what I wanted to do. At the age of 13, 14, at the attempt to try and fit in, I developed a eating disorder. I was so proud of my eating disorder. For anybody watching that this may trigger, please turn this off. You might not want to watch this. But I was so proud because eventually I'd found something that could make me fit in with the girls and look the same as them. Nobody knew that I had an eating disorder. I hid it well. From that, it became, trauma. The situations I got into, everything from the abusive relationships I never left. Never left because I as crazy as this sounds, I'd found somebody that had wanted me. And I think when you're neurodivergent, a lot of the time, I think probably back in the day as well, because we're so much more open to it now and about empowering people, but you spend your entire life feeling like a complete outsider, a complete and utter outsider. And when you find somebody that wants you and includes you, you tend to cling a lot. And that's what I did. But they were the wrong people. And I would morph into whoever I was with. And that road, again, I'm not sure how much I should share. Everything that I'm talking about, I'm absolutely okay with people knowing, because I'm proud of my story, and I'm proud of, I've done so much healing on it, so I'm cool to talk about it. But yeah, I look back on my life and I just think, how the hell am I still here? Like, how am I still here? From addiction to horrible abuse, like disgusting, to I'll never forget, age of 22, I was diagnosed with bipolar. Through ticking a questionnaire at the GP to try and understand what was wrong with me, with my behavior, with my spending money, with my not being able to manage time, with me being manic in those days, how they used to, I mean, that is still a term for bipolar, but how they witnessed me. And I was put on medication for bipolar. Now, bipolar is a real condition, and medication the right medication can really support and help people with the condition. The thing with me was that I didn't have the condition, but I was put on the medication, and I was put on heavy medication because back in the early 2000s, I was about 22, 23, or maybe younger. I could have actually been younger. I mean, I could have been 19, 20. It was around the early 20s. That medication was hard stuff, guys. It was hard. And I went completely off the rails. But I just thought it was me. I'm just going to pull my mascara. Here we go. Bear with. Here we go. I'm trying in my head not to make mascara face. Anyway, so I became crazy. I did. I forgot my lipstick. Oh dear. Yeah, I don't know why I'm laughing. It's not funny. It's not funny. I became very hard for people to understand, I think. And I get that. I completely get it. And I completely get how I must have presented. The hard part within therapy that I had to come to terms with is that people didn't understand what I was going through. They couldn't see. They just saw my symptoms. They didn't understand what was actually going on with me. And you know what is mind-blowing? And this is the only reason why I'm talking about it. What's mind-blowing is when I did the questionnaire for the ADHD, the questions were exactly the same as the form that I needed to fill out for bipolar back in the early 2000s. Was exactly the same questions. I can still remember the questions. And anyway, I came off the medication and came back to who I am, but still just manic a lot, up and down, all over the place. And that's how my life kind of continued, really. And then I found the ADHD quiz that you do online, and I filled it out, and that was mind-blowing. And this is why I'm talking about it, because so many people are, oh, everybody wants to get diagnosed. Why is everybody finding out? So this is just a voice to say, do you know why everybody that is neurodivergent wants to find out? If you don't want to find out, that's cool too. That's your own prerogative, and that's fine. But if you do, or if you have family members that feel that they have been invalidated for what they feel. They have felt like an outsider. They have felt different for probably their entire life. I always say to clients, if you're neurodivergent, it's like you have an Android processing system, and neurotypical people have the iOS, Apple, iPhone processing system. That is what I always say. And, it can be a superpower, but it also can be a curse. And it's exactly the same as trying to get an app that's built for Android to work on an iOS phone. It probably will work, but oh my goodness, will it be annoying and frustrating at times? And when you feel as if you have been shut down your entire life for who you are, and you actually fundamentally believe that it's you as a person, that there is something wrong with you, and you read something and you do a questionnaire, and it literally is that unmasked part of you in black and white, I cannot tell you how freeing and liberating that is, but also how painful it can be, and all the emotions that can come up as well about actually what you went through in life and how misunderstood you were for a lot of time. And because this is the thing, is that we have lived our lives, especially anybody, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s and above, it wasn't recognized. It was not a recognized condition. The majority of us that grew up in the 80s and the 90s, and I say this with respect because this is the terminology that was used, but anybody that was classed as neurodivergent was put in what we used to call a special class. I mean, I'm sorry, what? So, it's... There have been so many people. I mean, that alone is, I don't even know what that is about, but anyway. I understand that sometimes people benefit from being in smaller classes and more inclusive environments. I'm all for that. But naming it the special class, that alone shows the wounds that have been created. But for those that maybe didn't display as openly or masked a lot of their life, we have many deep wounded scars. And we've lived our lives according to this undiagnosed process that we've lived. Does that make sense? We've made decisions. We've had horrific things happen to us. We've got involved in behavior that we would never have been involved in. We have problems with relationships, problems with money, problems with emotional regulation, all sorts of things. And we haven't ever had the validation to say, it's okay, you're allowed. So that we go away and we empower ourselves to understand how to live being neurodiverse and turn it into the superpower that hopefully it can turn into, because it can be an amazing quality to have, but it does come at a cost at times. It does, and there is no denying that. But when you know how to manage it, and when you know how to validate and give yourself permission to leave situations that you feel a bit overwhelmed with, to ask for support in areas that you struggle with, to just own it, it's like you're liberated. It's like you're free. You can just be you. So anyway, this is why I am making this video, because I am going to find out in about an hour whether this is my missing puzzle I've been looking for almost 40 years, or if not, I don't know. I don't know if not. Yeah. So let's go find out. Hi guys, so I've made it for my appointment. I don't even know the emotions I'm feeling right now. I'm shaking. I don't know if you can see. I'm shaking. My little girl was an absolute star this morning. I had to drop her off super early at school. She even went in by herself just so I could make it, and I've made it in the nick of time. I'm really overwhelmed. I really, even some of my friends were like, Sal, don't be surprised if you feel like overwhelmed, if you feel emotional, if you feel all these things. And I was like, no, I'm fine. I'll be absolutely fine. I work with this all day long. I know exactly, I've dealt with all these feelings already, pre-assessment. I'll be absolutely fine, guys. I'm not fine. I am fine, but I'm overwhelmed by what I'm feeling right now. It's like you're going into a meeting with a person that doesn't know you, and they are going to either give you that missing piece of the puzzle that you've been searching for your whole life and believing your whole life that there was something wrong with you, or they're going to say, no, sorry, you're not getting the piece of puzzle. That's not what's going on here. And I think when you've walked such a long road of believing that there's something fundamentally wrong with you, and that you look around and you see that other people don't struggle with the things that you've struggled with your whole life, or still struggle with, even after putting so much work in. It's just massive, isn't it? It's massive. Anybody that's been through this already, you guys can relate. So yeah, I'm not going to film in there, obviously, but the next time you see me, we'll know. Okay, let's go see if I found my missing puzzle to me. Thank you for coming along with me on this journey. I just, as a therapist, my clients, because I'm aware that maybe clients watch these videos as well, and to people that aren't my clients, it may look kind of questionable of how a therapist can be so open with her own life. But if anybody's worked with me, I am open. I am human and open to a degree, obviously boundaried and ethically boundaried, and only self-disclose if it feels it could be helpful to the client. But I think that, even as a therapist, it doesn't matter. I think that we need, both human and therapists need to give a voice to these normal human experiences that we all experience, and not make it kind of taboo, not make it all hidden. And so many people go through, you'll hear me bang on about this so much because it's so true, so many people go through feelings that when they come into therapy, they realize it's just normal feelings to be feeling for what they're going through. And that is why I'm making these videos, is to share an insight into normalizing mental and emotional health, but also normalizing that we all go through these different things. It's just we don't talk about them in the outside world. And like I say, there will be lots of things that I won't talk about on the channel. That's private, and that's my stuff. But things that I feel comfortable sharing, I'm going to share, because I want to give a voice. I want people that are watching this to feel not alone, and just feel normal, just feel seen. Okay guys, let's go find out. Bye. Back. Wow. That was an experience. That was a real experience. So I got my missing piece of the puzzle, and I officially have combined ADHD. I don't even know where to begin. It was an amazing experience. It was absolutely amazing. I went in there and I was so nervous. I think I cried when I first went in. I just was so overwhelmed with emotion. And the clinician that I saw was Daniel Masood. I think that's how you say his name. I'll put a link to, he works at Provide, but he also has a private clinic in London. I think I've just looked his name up, and his name's come up under a private clinic in Chelsea as well, just off the King's Road. So I might see what other extras that they can kind of offer. I might go through the NHS route, but obviously if you don't want to wait too long, then looking into maybe private options is maybe helpful. I'm just so grateful. I can't believe sorry, I'm not being much help right now, am I? Okay. So, do you know what, guys? I'm sitting here and I'm trying to think, what do I say? How do I say all the things I'm feeling? And you know what? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just give myself some time to take all this in. And I think that's important for everybody that goes through this process as well. Take some time, take it all in, absorb it all, figure it out, and then I need to see where I go to from now. I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful that I now understand myself a little bit better and have that, you know, that clinical validation as well, that I am not going insane, that things that I experience and have always experienced is due to quite a few things that are not within my control. It's to do with how my brain works, and also that there is support out there and there is help. There are options that I can now explore, and I think that's what I'm going to do. Is I'm going to let this sink in, and I'm going to come back to you guys with another part of this video, and talk about where I'm at and what options I found. What's the day today? 27th of November is the day. 2024 is the day I found the missing puzzle to the piece of my life. Okay. I'll speak to you later. Bye.